Hello and welcome to the Pink Table Talk. How are you all doing today? Glad that you are joining us virtually for an awesome conversation that we get to have today. Ladies, I need you guys to go ahead on and share this. This is going to be good. We are having the battle of the sexes. We've got two guys, me and Deidre, we here, but we got two men up in here today, y'all. So we are going to talk about that. So let me introduce who we have. I'm not going to say too much so we can go ahead on and get into the discussion because we are extremely excited to talk about something. So to my right here close to me, this is the Pastor Christopher Cabiness. How are you doing today, Pastor Cab?
I'm doing well. It's
very good.
Definitely a pleasure to be here.
Yes.
And to share with you, and I'm just glad to be here. It took me 2.5 years.
Y'all don't listen to this man.
To get here. But to be on the Pink Table Talk, starring Laria.
Oh my goodness!
I'm just honored to be able to be in the service.
We're glad to have you.
Yes. Pleasure to be here.
It's a pleasure to have you, sir.
We here.
And right now, look, and right, he already said up. Y'all already can tell this is gonna be one of those shows.
The only place for us now is up.
Started from the bottom.
A mess, right? You see how they doing us, Deidre.
Right.
And
but no, I'm glad to be here.
No, and we're glad to have him. He's got some great content. I can't wait for them to get to talking. And let me introduce the person sitting next to him, who is Pastor Daniel Charles. And they are both from Macon, Middle Georgia, Warner Robins area, and we are glad to have them here. Of course, Georgia. I see it Middle Georgia, right? Yeah. But Middle Georgia area. So thank you for being on today.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. See how nice he was when we said. I should have started with him.
This is the one you got to worry about. I mean,
he knows how to keep his manners going on now,
that's
right?
Dade County. This is where you got to be worried
Straight
about.
Miami, right?
Right.
And of course, we got our co-host, Miss Deidre Stafford, back with us.
Here.
Yeah.
Let's get to it.
Look, we got to get into it because we got a whole bunch of questions to ask men, and then we're going to also give our opinion. So if you have anything that you think we need to be asking or something, a topic, please comment in the chats. Please make sure that you share this, like this. Follow us on Hope TV. We've got great shows for everybody in every category, and we'd love to have you to watch and be with us. So today, once again, show topic, Battle of the Sexes. So our first question, we've got a lot of single people up here, one married person. But we've got two who have been married and one who has never been married. So I think we've got a good take on everything, all right? So our first question that we have is, and these are questions from women as well, what's one thing you wish you knew before you got married? Wow. What is one thing you wished you knew? Daniel?
Oh, she called me out.
Before you got married, what's the one thing that you wished you knew? If you can think of anything, like one of those things.
One thing I wish I knew, and a scripture comes to mind, Ephesians 5:25, where it says, husbands, love your wife as Christ loved the church. So that's kind of deep for me. That's kind of that's a bill to pay right there. And so had I known that God would put that on man in that manner, that basically saying no matter what a woman does, think about the church for a second.
Wow.
And just think about our life and how, so we're God's bride, and think about, so husbands, love your wife as Christ loves. Think about how Christ loves us. Think about all the wrong that we do. And how many times, you know what I'm saying, we go to God and say, God forgive me. God forgive me. God, I'm not gonna do it again. You know what I'm saying? But what we do it again.
Right.
And what does he do? He still loves us.
And
I don't know if I could do that. I don't know if I'm built for that. You know what I'm saying? So if somebody would have said, hey, this is what marriage is all about. Is you about that life? You know what I'm saying? So that's a lot.
Wow.
So if I had known that walking in, maybe I've reconsidered, maybe I would have, I don't know. I don't know how you can prepare for that. So
Yeah, that is hard.
That is deep. Wow.
I'm gonna drop that bomb on you, Kat. I'm gonna
Cab.
right. And to her point though, Kat, he said husbands. He didn't say nothing about the wife. He never told the wife to love the husband.
That's right. But he did tell us to respect.
Respect.
Yeah. So
Go back to that question. Let's talk about that first.
I was headed somewhere.
Uh-oh.
But I think when you use the analogy as it relates to Christ and the church, I think for me, there's two things that I wish that I had known before marriage, and that was who I was and my why. Why am I here? What is my purpose? What is my calling? And I think that when you use the analogy with the church, that's the same question that we got to ask ourselves as the church, as the body of Christ. What is our who and our why? And so that's what I think. It was more so identity for me.
Yeah.
In relation to that, because, and I always use this analogy when you look at God putting Adam to sleep. And it says, while Adam sleep, God was fashioning Eve.
Right.
And so that shows us a picture that Adam was in a place of recovery. He was in a place of healing. He was in a place where God was bringing him to a sense of wholeness, but also by fashioning the woman, he was fashioning her to be whole. And so when you look at Songs of Solomon, Solomon references daughters, do not awaken your love too soon. In other words, because if you awaken him too soon, he may not recognize you. And so it's all about wholeness for the woman, wholeness for the man. And so a lot of times, in some cases, you all see a man.
Talking about the woman, right? We won't make that clear.
The woman.
Here we go. We gonna respond.
Oftentimes y'all see us, but don't realize that because of y'all's influence, because of y'all's voice, y'all wake us up too soon. And a lot of people are in relationships and we say, this is my better half, when it really should be my better whole. And people are getting in relationships and they're 50-50. And so with that, I should have still been asleep.
Gotcha.
Until I reached that place of wholeness.
Yeah.
But I was awakened too soon. And so it brought about a number of challenges and impasses as it relates to me really discovering who I was and discovering my why.
That's good.
Yeah.
Both of those answers were really good. Oh, that was good. Y'all got me shutting up. Y'all done shut me up.
She over here thinking.
She like, I'm about to say something else. So, Deidre.
So that's what I wish
Yeah.
that I had
Oh,
known
jeez.
before marriage.
That was good. Both of those were really
Because
good.
Adam knew who he was,
Yeah.
and he knew his why before Eve was ever brought to him.
Yeah.
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 Listen, we never disappoint with our guests and our content on Theology in 30.
I am excited for our conversation.
We live in a different time. And so I want to ask you, what does Howard Thurman's method offer preachers of today who really have roughly 10 to 15 minutes to get their point across?
Something that he offers is a sensitivity to the Spirit, right? So don't go into the worship service so tied to your manuscript that you don't allow freedom for the Spirit to move in ways that you could not expect.
To Sophia and Gabriel. Even though these old knees can't follow on your adventure to the forest today, these flowers represent my love. These stitches and threads join us together. And wherever you see a flower, a bird, a beautiful tree, know that my love is with you.
Make the forest part of your story at a park near you. Find one at discovertheforest.org.
Hi, this is Lena Bird Miles, and you're watching Tea and Worship right here on Hope TV.
Because
Why
I
y'all
was
looking at me?
21 when I got married.
Wow.
How old were you?
How old was I?
He's still trying to figure out what happened.
Yeah, how old are you?
I was 30.
30.
Okay.
That's good. That's a good age.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was
I was
21.
30.
Yeah, 21.
that's-
Man,
I was 20 planning a wedding.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's just very young.
How old were you?
30.
30? Okay.
Wow,
I was 28. I'm sorry.
28.
I was
28,
28.
30, yeah.
But you have a little more grounding at 28 than
Yeah,
21.
yeah.
20, 21.
I didn't have a clue.
Yeah.
So yeah, you was asleep. You was this.
He was snoring good. he was he was in a deep coma.
Hold on. You ran up on me too fast. Hold on.
Because I was sitting here like, okay, when you was saying that, I was like, now I had to learn how to tame my mouth. Because I'd be like, okay, he's still asleep. Okay, he woke. He's asleep.
Right.
So,
Exactly.
okay, that was good.
That was very
That
good.
was
So what do you think of, what's your answer? What you
Just from listening to the two, I think for me, my experience was before I got married, I dated him for 11 years. So we knew each other. So I always say I was not honest in counseling
Wow.
because I was in protect mode in counseling. You know, I didn't want to say the truth about us. You know, it was just protect mode for my husband, my finna-be husband. So I think if I would have been honest in counseling and got the counseling that we really needed,
Wow.
maybe it would have.
Well, who were you protecting, him or you?
Probably both.
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 Okay.
You wanted to portray that everything was okay.
Right.
That happens a lot in counseling.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because he wasn't really being honest. So we both were not being really honest in counseling. And we are the best of friends. We just wasn't ready to let the counselor know.
So is this in premarital counseling?
Premarital counseling.
Wow.
So.
Wow. So we got some good tidbits. We got, you better be honest in this counseling.
Yeah.
Loving the woman like Christ loved the
Yeah,
church. That's a whole,
yeah, 'cause
when
the
you say it
commitment that
slow,
you're
it
about to-
really,
yeah.
It hit different.
it hits different when you say that slow. Because I think we say, you know, love your woman like Christ loved the church. It's like, okay, man, that's a lot.
It's heavy.
That's a lot, because we do a lot.
So can you remind a dude of that? Be like, no, you're supposed to love him like.
Yeah, and you know what?
I'm respecting you now. You
See, but see, you got to ask yourself,
Can you remind, now you supposed to be.
what is your intent when you ask that
That's
question?
true. That's true.
What's your motive? Do you have a hidden agenda?
Right.
You know, because y'all can be very crafty and methodical and strategic on what y'all want to get out of us. So it just depends on when you ask that question and how you ask that question.
And how?
Yeah, and not only that, you know, if you teach that message, women gonna hear that. They're gonna say, "Oh, you gotta love this." Women will use the word on you too. Now, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Right.
Especially if it's coming from the man of God, and they say, "Oh, pastor holding you accountable." But
Right.
God holding you accountable. But see, women have to know that. Kind of like what Cal was saying. You can't expect a man to live by that, and when you treating them like
That's right.
Exactly.
Because the respect.
exactly. So God's gonna hold the woman accountable as well.
Right.
Yeah, respect.
And so you can't use that as manipulation or bondage in your marriage or in your relationship to try to get the higher hand
Yeah.
on your husband.
But you know, I've heard men say, you know, she makes it easy for me to love her. And I think that with the respect and being there the way whoever the woman is, I've heard men say that before, she makes it easy for me to love her.
Yeah.
So I think that is our responsibility in some some parts of that.
That's how
to
we
assist.
define, we as men, that's how we define love.
Yeah.
We base that off of how you respect us. And that's where we receive value and we feel honored,
Yeah.
which postures us to love y'all,
Talk about it.
in a way in which y'all desire. And even that puts us in a place where we can provide a need and you never even tell us the need.
It's y'all choice. What do you want? You want me to love you like you never been loved before? And so the women have that power
Define respect.
based on what he just said.
Here we go.
Here we go.
Somebody go get the oil.
No, give me some examples of respect. You know, when you say she respects me, she makes it easy for me to love her. And I'm not talking about saying yes sir, yes sir, whatever
Right,
you
right.
want, honey. I'm not talking about that. I'm just saying, like, one of my questions is, what shouldn't a woman ever say to a man that will make him just stop trying in the relationship? And I think that goes to respect, you know, not respecting him, but define respect a little bit in both of y'all's opinion.
When I think about respect, I think about honor.
Honor.
I've always been taught to celebrate in public and correct in private.
Okay.
That's
So a
good.
woman should never be flying off the handle
Exactly.
or talking down to her husband, especially in front of company
Exactly.
in public. So you always want to correct behind the scenes, but you always want to praise in front of people. And so honor your husband. Encourage him, motivate him. Good job, baby. Baby, we're proud of you. I love what you're doing with the family. I know we probably fell short right here, but we're gonna get it next time. You know, that's respect. Just honoring your husband.
Yeah, I like that. I like that.
And I think respect for a man for us is also defined when a woman understands timing.
Okay.
Timing is so important. It's all about how you all approach us, how you come at us. And one of the worst things that you all could say to a man is, bust the door open, we need to talk.
Not those
I don't
words.
like that either.
Not those words.
Because
We need, if you ever say we need to die.
immediately,
Heartbeat just.
Shut down.
Yeah, it's a,
immediately
yeah, it's
we're
a shit.
on
Mhm.
guard.
Yeah.
But I think timing is vitally important, as well as being that peace. You know, I feel like you know, for us, we sense that you respect us and have a love and a value for us when you create those safe spaces, those places that we, although Delilah used it as a means to bring Samson down, but when a man is able to lay his head on a woman's lap, man, that's respect on a whole nother level. That's what I mean when I say that. Absolutely.
And we're going to talk about it. Let's talk about it. Like, in today's culture, a lot of women are making more money than men.
Yeah.
And just because they're making more bread, oh my God,
Yeah.
they treat men like they're
Yeah.
like that's their child or something.
Like, this is my house.
So-
This is my stuff.
No matter who's making more money, respect always comes. It's God, then the husband, then the wife, so it doesn't matter who's making the most money.
Exactly.
That man still should be honored in his home.
That's right.
Still should be honored out in public.
Yeah.
No matter who's making
That's right.
the most money. No matter who's the breadwinner.
And I think if you look at it as a team, it's like you're not competing with each other. We're together, like we're building something together. You know, right now you might be making, because our pastor talks about that all the time. When he was a pastor in
Right.
Macon, he wasn't making hardly nothing. And he said, my wife was making triple times what I had. But I was excited for her. I'm like, you know, keep getting the money. We together.
That's right.
Yeah, exactly.
We a team, you know?
Exactly.
And so now, you know, of course it's vice versa, but you never know what you have when you encourage a man. And he can reach his potential as what he was just talking about
good.
with knowing your purpose. And I think sometimes even with a man, well, let me stop because I was about to go somewhere, but I don't need to do that. I was just about to say something. I don't want to go
That's
too
good
far.
you're saying. So think about this: man, woman, husband, wife, whatever the relationship dynamic is. Whenever love and respect is there, then value and
Yes.
security is inevitable. Experiencing that, and what is the world looking for? Security.
Right.
What are we looking for as individuals, relationships? It's about security.
That's right.
And so when a man can receive peace from a woman, that's security for him.
Yeah.
But also when a woman can experience security in a relationship, that's peace for her.
Yeah. And I think security too, and that's good, security looks different for everybody.
That's right.
And I think that that's where the love languages and all of that comes in, because security for me is I'm a touch. What is it? Touch and
Physical touch.
and
Quality time.
and what is it? Words of affirmation. So if I'm not talking to you and I can't touch you, I feel like you ain't step me. So that's what it looks like for me. Whereas for some women, it's like, you didn't buy me nothing. I'm not thinking about that. I don't care about that. But you called me, oh my God, you told me I look beautiful today. Thank you. Like that goes way farther to me than probably a car.
Yeah.
So, you know, I think that we have to have a lot of conversations about what it looks like and not talk at the person instead of thinking they're supposed to know what I'm feeling or how I am.
Right.
It's a lot of that going on. I feel like it's a bunch of little kids on Instagram. Everybody's talking at each other. And these women now, these men now, these women. It's like, yeah, we can have grown folks conversations like we're doing now to get an understanding of what's going on. So how y'all feeling? Look, I done forgot all about y'all. I'm sorry.
we just
warming
warming up.
We warming up in here.
We are 4 friends in a book. The book for this month, When No One Is Watching by Alyssa Cole.
It was actually 3 different things. What I enjoyed with gentrification and finding out, it kind of sparked things in my mind. Like, is this really happening?
If a Whole Foods pops up in one of these neighborhoods, I'm like, okay, y'all have been gentrified. So that's the first thing I always think about.
You've done the hard part. You quit smoking. Now do the easy part and get scanned for lung cancer. If you smoked, you may still be at risk, but early detection could save your life. Talk to your doctor and learn more at savedbythescan.org.
You can say yes 20 times to please somebody, but the one time you say no,
that's what they remember.
That's what they remember.
Chris Rock said in the movie Spiral, I think it is, the new Saw. He said, you can give a woman 1,000,000 Tuesdays, but you turn down 4 Saturdays, and she'll remember it forever.
That's wow.
Appetizer.
I got a question I want to ask.
Yeah, go ahead.
So does a man, from a woman's point of view, does a man have to be making a lot of money or making money or have a job for his spouse or a woman to respect?
Not for me.
No,
I mean,
not for
I'll
me.
let you her answer. I've been talking a lot.
Not for me. I think my thing is, if he can take care of himself, I'm good with that. But if he can't take care of himself, I'm just saying meeting someone.
Right.
I don't think I would try to get to, until he wake up.
She back on the wake it up. She gonna never let that go about that wake it up.
I mean, and I'm just being honest.
Right.
We can still be friends or whatever. But if he has goals and things he's working on
right.
and all of that, fine. But at my age,
Right.
I need him to be able to take care of himself. Does he have a place to stay, a car, a job? It ain't even got to be a big house, big car, big job. Just can you take care of yourself?
Yeah.
So that's a big
baby boy.
Yeah.
I can't take care of
And
nobody.
and like she said, I think it's about vision.
Yeah.
Like, is he actively moving
Yeah.
toward his vision? Like, you can see it. Like, okay, you'll meet somebody and they say, yeah, I'm doing this and I'm getting ready to do that, and yeah, I'm getting ready. It's like, okay. But you keep watching, ain't nothing happening.
Yeah. I mean, because things
But
happen.
then,
Life
yeah.
is. I had to start over. So sometimes you have to start over.
And it's nothing wrong with
but
that.
I need to see you saying you're starting over and you're starting over.
Exactly.
Exactly.
So going back to what you said about what is it that about how women may talk to men. So another part, the worst thing that a woman can do is to remind a man or to throw in his face what it is she did with him, to him, for him, by him, however.
Yeah.
That's the worst thing that a woman can do
Yeah.
is to remind a man of what she did for him, throwing it back in his face. Because then you question, okay, what was your true motive?
Right.
Right.
What did you truly mean?
Right.
Were you really here to help me, or were you here to help me to further cripple me?
Right.
Which can oftentimes be a narcissistic behavior
Yeah.
and a controlling mechanism. Let me remind you of what I did. And that can strip a man so to the point that he will want to go back to sleep,
Good God Almighty.
but he can't.
But he can't.
That hurt.
But that ain't
So
my
now
issue.
he's walking around with insomnia.
Wow.
To add to that, Cap,
That's ugly.
Also to remind the man, oh, don't forget I forgave you for this. Oh, remember you did this?
Come on, talk.
When you throw that back in the man's face,
Come on, talk. This is the battle of the sexes. Keep talking.
okay, did you really forgive me? And I think that's the key to every relationship, not only marriage, but even relationships.
Yeah.
If we can't forgive, we in trouble.
Yeah,
Because we're flawed people.
that's true.
But so we have to forgive.
Yeah.
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 And when we don't forgive, what we're really saying is, I can't take my mental and emotional hands from around your neck. That's what we're saying. When it's hard for us to forgive, that means our mental and emotional hands are constantly around that person's neck. And so that's the reality of being in relationships. For a man, and it's hard for us to forgive. As men, it's hard for us.
You can't break our heart. You break our heart, boy.
Yeah.
It's
Whoa,
hard.
whoa. Man, I don't know how y'all women do it.
I know y'all break us and then we just
Y'all are
we
so
go cry,
strong.
call our
Yeah.
girlfriends, go on a trip and come back and
Y'all
keep
real.
moving.
Y'all tough.
Yeah, y'all are strong.
Yeah.
Now, y'all done forgave us 10 times. Y'all do one thing, oh, it's over for us.
Right.
It's
I
over.
seen this
Men be
thing
like,
on Instagram, and the girl was like, "What she said? Oh, you did to me, I do it to you. Chin up, chest out, do like I did." I'm like,
I saw
wow.
that.
You
I saw
saw that?
that.
I'm
Yeah, I
like,
saw that.
We can't take that beat.
I was like,
can't
can I
take
use
it.
that? Oh, son.
Right.
She was like, chin
Sometimes
up,
you
chest
have
out.
to
just
if
like
you're gonna
I
make
did.
it work.
Right.
You know, you gotta determine what's work. And that's our question before we end this part one is I lost my place. How many chances should you give a man or a woman before calling it quits?
Don't throw up that scripture now. About 70 times 7.
No, I'm definitely not gonna say that. But what I will say is,
Thank you. You still my boy.
Okay.
for
Yeah.
every relationship, that's gonna look different.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what I was about to say. It's depending on what it is.
It depends on
you
what
know,
it
yeah.
is, right?
Now, I'm gonna tell y'all, before I got saved and when I got saved, I was a mess. I need forgiveness. I don't know about nobody else. I need forgiveness. I'm just talking about me now. And so I think it's a communication piece.
Yeah.
Okay, what are we willing to give and take in this relationship? What are we willing to forgive? What conversation did we have after this last mishap? Where are we going? Are we progressing? You know what I'm saying? So it's how much that person is willing to take and put up with.
That's
Yeah.
true.
It's a
That's
conversation. And it looks different for everybody.
It
Yeah.
does.
And ask that question one more time. Ask that question one more time.
How many chances should you give a woman or man, for us men, for you guys women, before calling it quits? Like how many chances? And I know he said, and it does vary depending on what it is.
Well, you know, I look through a different lens. I don't think it's more so about how many chances, because that's a decision that you have to make. And when you look at the word decision, it means to cut off. Incision, cut into, decision, cut off. And if that relationship brings more death than it does life,
It's time.
and we at the House of Hope, so I can't really say what I really want to say.
Yes, you can.
You might as well we do it here.
Cut it off.
Cut it off.
Yeah. That's
Cut it off. That's when you know. And so it may be 5 years worth of chances, or 20 years worth of chances, or 5 months worth of chances. If it equates to more death than it does life, decision, decision, same thing. You got to decide and you got to cut it off.
It ain't worth the squeeze.
Because I think a lot of people, we were just talking about in one of our episodes about suicides and things and your mental state and
Cut
being
off
depressed.
life, homicide,
Yeah.
cut off life,
Because you
suicide,
are so
genocide.
When you get to the point where you ready to box your husband or your wife, or you ready to cuss them out, and this is repetitive,
Right.
daily. Like you driving around the block 800 times, so
Right.
you don't have to go home.
Right. Or you
know.
get home, sit in the driveway.
Right.
For
And
an
just
hour.
put on Instagram
Right.
or listening to TD
Right.
Jakes videos so you can get yourself together to go in the
Right,
house.
right,
Like, and you've had
Yeah.
these conversations, you've done everything that you can possibly do. And we're not just saying leave your husband, all this stuff, but
No.
what we are saying is get some counseling, talk to someone so that you can make sure that your mental health, because it's not worth going to the house shooting up everybody, the cat, the dog, everybody, because you don't want to just lead a person alone, you know, cut it off like he was saying, because that's not healthy. It's just not healthy to be in relationships, and especially boyfriend, girlfriend, you just dating.
Right.
Y'all love going, y'all be doing the most on TikToks and
Toxic.
stuff, and it's like it's normal to act a fool. You slashing tires, busting out windows, and just go. You don't have to do that. Leave these people alone. It didn't work, bye. We gone, we good. So, yeah. Anything you want to say about that, Deidre?
We having one.
No, I'm just listening. I love to talk to men about relationships because, you know, when you talk to your girlfriend all the time,
we just boost each
talking about what
other
we
up and
going
tell
through.
each other how good we are. Girl, I don't know why he doing that.
Go bust his windows out.
It's like we giving ourselves advice. Oh, no, I like to talk to men to hear your side, you know, because again, I mean, I like to be married, so I want a peaceful marriage. I want a marriage where we're both going to work on it. I don't want to just be married. You know what I'm saying? So I like to hear the men's perspective, so it can fix me and I can work on me.
Well, we here to fix
So
you.
I can make him happy,
We here to fix
and I
y'all.
can respect him, and he can love me like Christ loved the church.
And don't wake him up. Don't wake him up. Because that goes back, and really quickly, our last thing. I know, Deidre, we were talking about, I won't say the specific instance, but how do you, I don't know if you wanted to state what we were talking about with the car situation, but anyway, listen. So this is a question we got. How do you, if you tell a guy, a man or a guy you're dating, boyfriend, whatever, you know, I need gas in my car. You know, this is something that I really need every week, or whatever it may be, or I really need you to help me with the dishes on this day, or it's something that I need whatever it is. Can we do this? Like, do you have to have a conversation about it, or should it be understood? Because it's certain things.
I tell you what. We just need to go to part 2 because we're gonna
mess that up. Okay, well, let's do this.
We're gonna mess that up.
Y'all, this is Pastor Christopher Cabiness, Pastor Daniel Charles, Deidre Stafford, Maria Reed. Look, I'm telling y'all, when we brought them, we got some good convo coming on. So this has been a wonderful part 1. Make sure you come back next week. Next week for part 2, right here on the Pink Table Talk. We'll see you then.
See y'all.
Bye.
Thank you.